Welcome to another edition of the Lunch Break, also known as the Houston Roundball Review Takeover, powered by JM&E, and also courtesy of the BS3 Network. I am, of course, KG Chris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. Thank you for chiming in. Thank you for joining me today on this Thursday, Friday Eve. I'm going to talk a lot of different stuff. I'm going to talk some baseball, which is a rarity for me if you know me and follow me, because baseball is not my thing and has not been my thing since I was 10 or 11 years old. But today I'm going to talk some baseball. You watching this show on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Fire TV, and yes, Roku, courtesy of BS3 TV, BS3 Network. If you have a Roku streaming device, simply download BS3 TV. If you don't, you can go to bs3network.com or bs3tvlive.com. I'm going to put this on the screen. I'm going to do a better job of promoting myself, the Houston Roundball Review, hopefully generate more advertisers, orders for merch, interest, subscribers, viewers, all those good things are part of a business right here. When I say and have said, I am not new to this. I am true to this. New achievement, 5 million views on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. That's 5 with 6 zeros. 5 million views. That's not all Cougars coverage, Rockets coverage, H-Town teams. It's NBA content, WNBA content, NCAA content. One more time. 5 million views on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. Rockets aren't even playing, not in the playoffs. This month alone, I'm almost at 200,000 views on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. And these first 5 months, I think I'm close to 1 million views on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. So one more time. Brandon, how you doing, my man? Wanda Polk, how are you? If you're serious about advertising, and I mean serious, don't waste my time. I've had folks the last few months waste my time. Yeah, I'm going to do it, KG. I'm going to support you. Then ghost me. Don't waste my time. Seriously, do not waste my time. 5 million views. 1 million this year. Going to apply for the Big 12 football media day in Vegas. Hope to get approved for that. Coogs, of course, are in the Big 12. Football, Coach Willie Fritz will be talking to the media on Wednesday, July 10th. Hope to be there for that. Want to come along for the ride? Email me, kgardner@thehrr.com. One more time. I am not new to this, but I am very, 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 very true to this. Thank you, Miss Wanda. Brandon, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I am indeed blessed. I'm blessed. I'm still here. 52 years on this earth, still here. A lot of struggles, going through some right now, but I'm still here. Rex, thank you as well. Welcome. Got a lot of folks chiming in today. Salute. Welcome. It's going to be a different 55 minutes or so on today's Houston Roundball Review Takeover. First part of the show is generally about any news related to my alma mater, the University of Houston. Sorry, Mr. Gibson. I know it's the Ohio State, but it's also the University of Houston. I'm a Houston Cougar, a proud Houston Cougar alum. This info was official last Thursday afternoon. Want to mention it again. It's been on the website, of course, at HoustonRoundballReview.com. Coach Huey and the staff announced the signing of Kiera Edmonds, 6'2" forward, transfer from Wagner College. She was a freshman this past season at Wagner. 26 games played, 18 starts, averaged 8.4 points, 7.2 rebounds, shot 46.1% from the floor, and made 2/3 of her free throw attempts. She was named to the Northeastern Conference All-Rookie team. Northeastern Conference is not the Big 12, but she does have some talent, apparently. So wish her the best of luck. Here she's a Coug now. Life in the Big 12 is different. We'll see if she can adjust to it, and we'll see how she fits in with the team and in the conference. She will have 3 years of collegiate eligibility remaining for Coach Huey and the staff. Put this out there. This was announced, I think, May 28th. Local product from Bel Air High School, HISD. I am a product of HISD high schools, and I used to be proud to say that, but I won't digress of how things are going now. But anyway, Shelton Henderson has been named, or was named, to the USA Basketball U18 National Team. Kudos to him. Why do I mention that? Because he was he is a 2024 Guy V. Lewis Award top 10 finalist. He was named to the 12-member 2024 USA Basketball Men's UA National Team. The team will compete at the 2024 FIBA U18 Men's America Cup from June 3rd to 9th in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Haha. All 12 athletes are making their national team debuts with USA Basketball. So salute to Shelton and the 11 other young men who were named to the roster, and good luck to them. Leading the 2024 USA U18 national team is head coach Tommy Lloyd, Arizona. He is assisted by Grant McCaslin, Texas Tech, and Micah Shrewsbury, head coach from Notre Dame. So salute to all of them. Good luck to them. Bring home that gold, compete, do the best you can, stay healthy, enjoy the international competition, broaden your skills and your minds, and come back with great stories to tell your friends, family, make some new teammates. It's a great experience with USA Basketball. So again, salute to Shelton Henderson. Brandon Death, my man. Appreciate that. Because Brandon, I think you also got a mug, right? Oh, and by the way, Brandon and Miss Wanda have mugs. Salute to you, Brandon. Appreciate that support as always. Thank you for chiming in. But Shelton, again, is a top 10 finalist for the 2024 Guy V. Lewis Award. And I also want to acknowledge this. He was one of 5 juniors who were finalists for the 2024 Guy V. Lewis Award. So there's a chance those 5 young men could be finalists again as seniors this coming year in high school. Joining Shelton from the junior class, or the class of 25, John Clark from Klein Kane, Michael Collins from Shadow Creek, Montana Wheeler from Houston Christian, who has been a 2-time finalist for the Guy V. Lewis Award, and Sebastian Williams Adams from St. John's. All of them are skilled, talented. If you're wondering, the Guy V. Lewis Award goes to the top boys high school player in the greater Houston area. And I am on that committee, have been since the beginning. The award has been around since, what is it now? 2011, I think. Been a long time. We've done a much better job promoting it, getting more national recognition for the award. It is a big deal. It is an honor to be named a finalist for the award. We generally announce top 50 finalists, a watch list around November or so. So look for that on the GuyVLewisAward.org website. And then we'll pare it down throughout the season from 50 to 25 and then 10. And we'll have those 10 finalists and their families, coaches attend an award reception. And that's where we will announce the winner next year for the winner of the 2025 Guy V. Lewis Award. And I feel fairly confident the 5 young men I named might be 5 finalists again for the 2025 award. Just saying. I don't pick that part of it. My part is media relations, press releases, that kind of stuff. I have no weight in who's going to be a finalist. Just an FYI for you on that. Okay. We're going to talk some NBA playoffs. Western Conference Finals. Boston come from the East. had a nice, kind of smooth ride. They didn't have as many injuries as their opponents, but that's not their fault. It's the attrition part of the playoffs. You you play who you face and get those 4 wins and move on. That's part of basketball, part of pro sports. But earlier this week, news was announced that's near to my heart. As a black man, and some folks might not like that right there. That's you. That's a you problem. That's not me. But kudos to Major League Baseball for announcing this, making it official, incorporating Negro League stats into the MLB record book. So these next few slides are all courtesy of Anthony Castro Vince from MLB.com. And the quote right there to start off is important. And I might get on my soapbox for a moment. It's my show. Quote, the Negro Leagues were a product of segregated America, created to give opportunity where opportunity did not exist, said Negro Leagues expert and historian Larry Lester. As Bart Giamatti, former commissioner of baseball, once said, quote, we must never lose sight of our history insofar as it is ugly, never to repeat it, and insofar as it is glorious, to cherish it, end quote. One more time. We must never lose sight of our history insofar as it is ugly, never to repeat it, and insofar as it is glorious, to cherish it, end quote. Now, there are some folks, I'm not going to name names. You know who I am. You know what I believe, where I stand. There are some folks who want to ignore history in America, act like it never happened. I'm not one of those folks. I acknowledge it. I choose to learn from it and hope to never repeat it. That's how you grow and get better as people and as society. On to the slides. What were the Negro Leagues? Prior to the debut of Jackie Robinson with the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1947, the American and National Leagues were, like so much of society, segregated. Unable to pursue playing careers in those leagues, black players formed leagues of their own, beginning in 1920 with the 8-team Negro National League founded by Andrew Rube Foster. And I'm going to take a moment. Growing up, I learned about the Negro Leagues from my grandfather, reading, watching certain baseball. I was a baseball fiend until I was 10, 11 years old, and then I got the basketball bug. And then learned more about the Negro Leagues from working with the Hall of Famer, Mr. Ralph Cooper. I learned a lot from Ralph then, and I still learn a lot from Ralph now. So this is a big deal to us, baseball fans, people like me, people like Ralph, and America overall. Back to the slides. Over the next 30 years, a variety of Negro Leagues came and went. The Negro World Series was held from 1924 to 1927, featuring the champions of the Negro National League against the champions of the Eastern Colored League, and again from 1942 to 1948, featuring the champions of the second iteration of the Negro National League against the champions of the Negro American League. All told, the Negro Leagues produced 37 eventual members of the National Baseball Hall of Fame. Jackie Robinson's integration of MLB marked the beginning of the end for the Negro Leagues. And honestly, there are some folks, Mr. Cooper's age and up, who really lament that day of Jackie Robinson, in a sense, because it was the beginning of the end for the Negro Leagues. because all the talent, the top tier talent, went to the majors. Why are the Negro Leagues being added to the historical record? First part right there says a lot and chimes in with what Rex 32 commented. It's a long time coming. Essentially, to right a wrong. It certainly was not the fault of black baseball stars such as Josh Gibson, Cool Papa Bell, and Oscar Charleston that they were forbidden from participating in the AL or NL, and recognizing the Negro Leagues as major leagues is in keeping with long-held beliefs that the quality of the segregation era Negro Leagues circuits was comparable to the MLB product in that same time period. In recent decades, the tireless work of researchers combing through newspapers, scorebooks, and microfiche, that's dating myself right there, reading that microfiche, led to the expanded availability of Negro League statistics, culminating most notably in the expansive database compiled by Seamheads and made it viable to include these leagues in the historical record. Which Negro Leagues will be included in the official record? There are 7, and they operated between 1920 and 1948. The reason for the starting point is that attempts to develop Negro Leagues prior to 1920 were ultimately unsuccessful and lacked a league structure. And 1948 was deemed to be a reasonable endpoint because it was the last year of the Negro National League and the segregated World Series. After that point, the Negro League teams and leagues that had endured were stripped of much of their talent. That's a fact. Here are the 7 leagues. The Negro National League, first one, from 1920 to 31. The Eastern Color League, from 1923 to 1928. The American Negro League, 1929. The East-West League, 1932. The Negro Southern League, 1932. The Negro National League, second iteration, from 33 to 48. And the Negro American League from 1937 to 1948. Here's something that I did not know. Is this the first time leagues have been granted quote unquote major league status long after they ceased to exist? No. In 1969, MLB's Special Committee on Baseball Records determined which past pro leagues should be classified alongside the American League and National Leagues as major leagues in the first publication of the quote, the Baseball Encyclopedia, end quote. At that time, the committee concluded that the American Association from 1882 to 1891, the Union Association 1884, the Players League 1890, and Federal League 1914 and 1915 all qualified. Not only did that committee not grant major league status to the Negro Leagues, but the Negro Leagues weren't even given consideration in the meetings. One more time. Not only did that committee not grant major league status to the Negro Leagues, but the Negro Leagues weren't even given consideration in the meetings. MLB's 2020 decision reflected the involved attitudes toward and respect for the Negro Leagues. Why did it take so long to incorporate the Negro Leagues into the statistical record? Once the 2020 decision was made to include the Negro Leagues, MLB and its official statistician, the Elias Sports Bureau, had to complete a review process of the Seamheads data. and MLB and Seam heads had thorough and detailed discussions over how the data would be utilized. MLB built upon the Seam heads database with the help of RetroSheet, an organization that computerizes Major League games from prior to 1984, and a 16-member Negro League Statistical Review Committee was formed to determine, among other things, what minimum standards would be put in place for Negro League players to qualify for season or career leaderboards. And let me say one thing here. Welcome. Good afternoon to you, BS3 Sports, the foundation, the owners, and the backing of BS3 TV, BS3 Network. And you are watching the Houston Roundball Review Takeover, powered by JM&E on YouTube and Twitter and Twitch, and Fire TV, Facebook, of course, but also on Roku, courtesy of BS3 TV. Back at it, talking baseball. Yes, I am talking baseball. What are the minimum standards for inclusion in leaderboards? For single season Negro Leagues leaderboards, the minimum standard is 3.1 plate appearances or 1 inning pitched per scheduled game, consistent with the standard we are familiar with in the AL and NL. However, because of the inconsistencies of Negro League's teams, schedules, or the available data, the minimum qualifier for each league and season is based upon the average number of games played by each team, multiplied by 3.1 plate appearances for hitters and 1 inning for pitchers. Those values are subject to change as more data is discovered. You get into what are the minimum standards for inclusion in leaderboards as for career leaderboards. The current standard for career MLB leaders is 5,000 at-bats and 2,000 innings pitched, which roughly equates to 10 full qualifying seasons, which is 50-20 at-bats and 1,620 innings. Therefore, for Negro League players, this standard has been set at 1,800 at-bats and 600 innings, roughly the equivalent of 10 seasons worth of 60-game seasons. Question: why was a 60-game minimum chosen as the standard? Because it has precedent in the existing MLB historical record. In addition to the COVID condensed 2020 season, in which AL and NL team played a 60-game schedule, the National League also played 60-game seasons in 1877 and 1878. So it has been done before. For those folks, well, they only did 60-game seasons, it doesn't even count. Why did Negro League teams play so few games? The sentence says it all right here. The short answer is class segregation. Because of the times, Negro League teams often had to resort to barnstorming exhibitions. That's not leagues, it's not league games. Barnstorming exhibitions to keep the business afloat or cut their season short when they were out of contention, leading to erratic league schedules. Generally speaking, Negro Leagues teams played roughly 60 to 80 games per season. This is why you won't see Negro Leagues players much near the top of leaderboards for counting stats such as home runs or pitcher wins. But you will see them featured prominently in rate stats such as batting average or ERA, which of course is earned run average. What changes have been made to single season records as a result of the Negro League's inclusion? There are notable changes in 5 key categories. Batting average. This blows my mind. All I knew about growing up was Josh Gibson's home run. That's all I heard about was Josh Gibson's great catcher, hit for power. But Josh Gibson had a .466 batting average in 1943 for the Homestead Grays. That is now the highest mark in Major League history, followed by Charlie Chino Smith's 451 for the 1929 New York Lincoln Giants. Both of these averages eclipse the previously recognized record held by Hall of Famer Hugh Duffy, which was 440 way back when in 1894 for the Boston Bean Eaters. I didn't even know that about Mr. Hugh Duffy, but there you go. On base percentage, though Barry Bonds' 609 mark in 2004 still stands, Josh Gibson's 564 in 1943 with the Grays, and Smith 551 for the Lincoln Giants enter the top five, with Gibson in third place and Smith in fourth. Slugging percentage. 4 slugging marks now eclipse Barry Bonds' 863 mark with the 2001 Giants. The top spot now belongs to Mr. Josh Gibson at 974, which he did this with the Homestead Grays in 1937. Josh Gibson was a bad, bad man. Followed by Hall of Famer Mule Suttles, 877 in 1926 with the St. Louis Stars. Gibson again, 871 with the Grays in 43. And Smith in 870. That was a hell of a year in 1929 with Lincoln Giants, Mr. Smith. My goodness. On base plus slugging, OPS. Gibson also tops Barry Bonds, the 1.421 in 2004 the Giants, here with a 1.474 mark with 37 Grays and a 1.435 mark with the 43 Grays. Josh Gibson, once again, Josh Gibson. ERA, earned run average. I don't know this at all here. The single season best still belongs to Hall of Famer Tim Keefe. Who knew this? Chime in if you heard about Tim Keefe, if you are a baseball historian. Had a 0.86 ERA in 1880 with the Troy Trojans. But the legendary, the iconic Satchel Paige now ranks third with a 1.01 mark for the also legendary 1944 Kansas City Monarchs. Satchel Paige, great stories, great pitcher, entertainer, all of it. Now, change it to the career marks. Batting average. Josh Gibson's career mark of 372 is now the top spot, ahead of Ty Cobb's 367. Growing up, record book, all I saw was Ty Cobb, 367 in the top spot. No longer. I know some folks are pissed off about that. Well, get over it. Hall of Famers, Oscar Charleston, 363. Judd Wilson, 350. Turkey Stearns, 348. And the sensational, fabulous Mr. Buck Leonard, 345, are also now in the top 10. On base percentage, Josh Gibson now ranks third all-time at 459, behind Ted Williams, 482, and George Herman Babe Ruth, 474. Negro Leaguers Buck Leonard, 452. Oscar Charleston, 449. And Judd Wilson, 434, also joined the top 10. I'm going to stop right here for a moment. Folks have said, oh, Negro Leagues weren't very good. They weren't comparable to the major leagues. Well, clearly you never heard or saw interviews from the likes of Ted Williams or other Caucasian American ball players who competed in those exhibition games against the Negro Leaguers. There are quotes from plenty of them, plenty of those men who said the guys in the Negro Leagues were just as good, if not better, than they were in Major League Baseball. Look it up. I'm not making it up. Look it up. Back to the lesson. This is fun. I'm enjoying this. Wrapping it up. I think I missed one thing here. There we go. Slugging percentage. Josh Gibson's 718 mark eclipses Babe Ruth 690 for the top spot, with fellow Hall of Famers Mule Suttles, 621, Stern 616, and Oscar Charleston 614, also now in the top 10. OPS, Josh Gibson's 1.177 mark is now the all-time best, ahead of Babe Ruth 1.164. Oscar Charleston 1.063, Buck Leonard 1.042, Mr. Stern 1.033, and Mr. Suttles 1.031 also enter the top 10. ERA, left-hander, and I gotta say, I'm not Ralph Cooper when it comes to this. Never heard of this gentleman. Left-hander Dave Brown, who posted a 2.24 ERA in 711 innings pitched from 1920 to 1925. Think about that. 711 innings in basically 6 seasons. Now ranks 8th all time. This next one, you saw a glimpse of it. This is what I heard. Part of one of the things I heard about the legend of Josh Gibson. Didn't Josh Gibson hit 800 home runs? Why isn't he the new home run champ? Josh Gibson is the perfect example of the lines that were drawn in this process. It may well be true that Josh Gibson hit 800 home runs in his career, as his Hall of Fame plaque estimates. But many of those home runs came in barnstorming exhibitions that were not part of the official league season, and therefore are not included in MLB's official record. Officially, Josh Gibson is credited with 174 career homers in league games. So big difference. And you see how many, you just approximate how many barnstorming games that the Negro Leaguers had to play because of society, because they were not allowed to compete in leagues. They couldn't compete in leagues economically. So they had to do more barnstorming to make ends meet. Such were the times. But that concludes my MLB Negro Leagues records lesson for today on this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover. I'm going to take a quick break of roughly 90 seconds to give you an idea of what BS3 TV and BS3 Network is all about. And then when I come back, I'm going to get your thoughts on the playoffs. Dallas, Minnesota, Game 5 tonight. What's going to happen? But until then, here's a spot from BS3 TV, and I'll be back in 90 seconds.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Welcome back to the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break, powered by JM&E, and also, of course, the BS3 Network. I am KG Chris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. You're watching this show on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Fire TV, and Roku courtesy of BS3 TV. If you have Roku, just download BS3 TV. If you don't have it yet, get it. But if not, just go to bs3network.com or bs3tvlive.com. These last 20 minutes of show, I'm going to talk some NBA playoffs with you. First part of the show, I touched on the Negro League stats being now included in the MLB record book. And also, I noted and congratulated Houston area products, Shelton Henderson, for being named to the U18 USA Basketball U18 Boys National Team. But also noted this little tidbit of information. The Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel has now accumulated over 5 million views. 5 with 6 zeros. Almost 500,000 of those have come these first 5 months of the year. More than 100,000 of them have come this month. If you're serious about advertising, email me at kgardner@thehrr.com. And again, if you are serious about advertising on all these shows, The Takeover, Let's Talk Houston Rockets, you got opportunities to be on my platform on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and Spoutable. My reach is in the thousands. So your product will be seen. So seriously, hit me up. Because again, I'm not just basketball. The Houston Roundball Review is a media group. A.D. Moore has been tweeting, posting comments, posting video clips from the Houston Texans OTA going on right now. He's part of the Houston Roundball Review media group. Yes, Texans coverage is also part of the Roundball Review umbrella. Football. I can talk baseball too. Basketball. You get the idea. Let's make this happen. Let us work together. Hopefully, I'll be in Vegas in July for the Big 12 Football Media Day. Yes, football. Football. One more time. Football. I know football is king. I know college football makes college athletics go around and spin on its axis and do all kinds of silly things. I know all that. I'm not blind to that fact. But hey, as a businessman, as a business person, as my man Brandon F. earlier, he chimed in, commented, and saluted me and contributed with a super chat sticker. You can do that as well. Or you can also do what Brandon and Miss Wanda have done. Buy you a Houston Roundball Review mug. Or like Miss Wanda has done a few times. I don't believe she's done this. She hasn't bought a bucket hat. But I know, or she's bought a shirt. She's bought a tie-dye shirt. I believe she's bought a tie-dye shirt. You can get that as well. If you're watching on the Houston Roundball Review on YouTube, click on that shop button. You can buy you some merch like this, buy you a tie-dye shirt. And that first tie-dye shirt reminds me, every time I see it, I think of Bill Walton. May he rest in peace. May the big redhead rest in peace. He passed away at age 71. Great man. Great man. A true people person, Mr. Bill Walton. But also, if you don't want those tie-dye shirts, you get you a cap, get you a tank top. You get the idea. A lot of different ways to show your support for the Houston Roundball Review. But these last few minutes, what's going to happen tonight? Game 5. Dallas, Minnesota. Mavs won the first 3 games. Timberwolves won Game 4 in Dallas. Game 5 tonight in Minnesota. It comes down to the stars performing well. Kyrie did not shoot the ball well in Game 4. After struggling immensely the first 3 games of this series, Mr. Karl Anthony Towns made shots, made 3-pointers, helped carry the load, helped Anthony Edwards carry the load. Minnesota won Game 4, where they win Game 5. What's it going to take? What are your thoughts on what the announcers have said a few times, and as I've thought and said on my guest appearance last Saturday with Devin Wade, Kevin Allen, and Mr. Ralph Cooper on KTSU Sports Talk? I think Minnesota should be doing more to attack Luka when the Mavs are on defense. Luka's knee is not 100%. He said so in post games, which you can see some of those comments on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. Make him work. Make him move. Make him do more than just stand there going in and out of the painted area while Jaden McDaniels just stands in a corner. Make Luka have to guard somebody. Make Luka have to guard someone who's a threat on offense. Hey, if he's banged up, go at him. Sometimes you can see the blood on the knees, the knee pads. Go at him. Make that young man work. Goodness knows, offensively, he's giving y'all the business. he is giving y'all the business. But make him work on defense. And Rex 32 is on point. Kyrie, game 4, Kyrie, fourth quarter was not his best so far this series. But Luka, for a lot of this series, when it comes to defense, he gets to rest because he's not having to guard someone who moves without the ball or having to guard someone in pick and roll who's a threat. We know he's a talented man. We know he's a bad man. But he's also an injured bad man. Make him work on both ends of the floor. Ant-Man's doing it. Sometimes he's having to do too much on both ends of the floor. Come on, Chris Finch. You know basketball. You're a smart man. After game 3, Chris Finch said, the games come down to the last 3 to 5 minutes. In close games, we have not done enough to win those close games. Why not, Coach Finch? What is it? What aren't y'all doing? They figured out game 4. Anthony Edwards, he attacked the Mavs defense. He did not let the Mavs defense dictate to him. He didn't just stand and back up, dribbling to the half-court line, surveying the floor against the Mavs double teams. He got into the paint. He made the defense collapse to him. He kicked it out to his teammates, and they made shots like Cat did, Karl Anthony Towns. Getting into the paint is a key to success on offense. And Rex 32 and anyone else watching, what are your thoughts? What are your opinions? What Minnesota should be doing to lessen all these lob opportunities Dallas is getting? Derek Lively is living off alley-oops. I mean, it's just, you can count the number of dunks. It is ridiculous how many dunks the Mavs get every game. Every game. What, 5, 6, 7 dunks? High screen and roll. And Rudy Gobert seems not to know what he's doing, or he's stuck in no man's land. Should I be out on Luka? Should I be out on Kyrie? Or should I back up against my man? What should I be doing? What? Help me, please. Help me. Lob, dunk, lob, dunk, dunk, lob, dunk, alley-oop, dunk, 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 dunk. This is the NBA, man. This is the NBA. Y'all can figure out how to stop Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively, sometimes Derek Jones Jr. Just lob. Daniel Gafford, and he's become, boy, I wish one of my viewers from the Let's Talk Houston Rockets was chiming in, because he pushed for the Rockets should trade for Daniel Gafford like in January. Gafford is just, he's feasting, feasting. Rex says Rudy and Cat got to protect the paint and stop getting switched on to the guards. They got to figure it out. And I've said this. I've learned this over my years covering basketball and observing. Good players, good ball handlers in pick and roll. Once they get their defender on their hip, on their back, that defender is toast. Toast. Unless his teammate hedges, blitzes, whatever you want to call it, the ball handler to allow him time to get back in front of the ball handler. But backtracking just keeps the ball handler, allows the ball handler to continue to have the defender on his hip behind him. That guy's out of the play. It's out of the play. It's not going to happen. So Minnesota has to do a better job of either blitzing the ball handler to allow the defender to get back in front of the ball handler, or put a body on the lob threat. The baseline help got to be over there quicker, because there's so many dunks. It's ridiculous. It's great to see. It's fun and it's exciting. But from a defensive perspective, y'all got to figure this out. It's 4 games in. Y'all still giving up lobs constantly. It's almost like whenever Luka wants to do it, just call it pick and roll. If Rudy's on the floor, I'll call pick and roll with Rudy's man involved, my teammate involved. He'll be backing up. I'm going to get it to the paint, throw a lob, dunk, let's go on down the floor. I mean, it's easy, man. Easy. CA37 chiming in. Minnesota needed that out-of-bounds foul by Kyrie to go their way. It was a foul, but in the rules of review, you can't do that. Some plays you can look at it, some plays you can't. NBA being inconsistent on that stuff. And Kyrie is a great ball handler, no doubt. And Luka is a great ball handler. And Luka's size keeps his opponents, his strength keeps them away. I mean, once he's in front of them, they're toast, because then he slows down, makes them bump into him. He has a slow dribble. I mean, sometimes you see how Kyle Anderson slow-mo from Minnesota is more effective, because slow-mo he's just slow. When Luka slows down, Anderson's like, well, I'm already at this pace, so I'm right with you. So it's no problem at all, man. But Rex says, can't have Dallas winning another championship in the same sports year. Well, I'll say this, and I know I've got some people in the BS3 family who won't like this. It'll be the Mavs or the Stars, because it won't be the Cowgirls. So don't worry about them. Cowgirls aren't winning Super Bowl. Then forget that. It's not happening. So either the Mavs or the Stars could have a championship. That'll make 2. But yeah, Stars, their series is tied 2-2. But it won't be the Cowgirls. We all agree on that. But one more time, I touched on this, I think, two weeks ago. Let's look at the Texans' schedule these last 5 minutes or so. Let's see. All right, here we go. The 2024 Houston Texans regular season schedule. You see it there on the screen. Open up the season on the road against the Colts. High noon, September 8th. Then they host the Bears on September 15th. Sunday night game. Then on 22nd, they're at Minnesota. Noon on CBS. September 29th, home versus Jacksonville, noon on CBS. Sunday, October 6th, home versus Buffalo, noon on CBS. Sunday, October 13th, at New England, noon on CBS. Sunday, October 20th, at Green Bay, noon on CBS. Sunday, October 27th, home versus the Colts, noon on CBS. Then Thursday on Halloween, Going to Gotham. Play the Aaron Rodgers' games on Amazon Prime Video. But that game will be shown over there in Houston as well. Has not been announced which network that will be, but it will be on Amazon on Halloween. So those, what is that? 9 games, Rex? After 9 games, give me your predictions. Those 9 games. What do you think? Those 9 games. I saw this, and as you said, you kind of said as well. My friend talked about it. Coach Fritz got a commitment, a verbal commitment from a class of 2026 from, what is it, Legacy Sports, right? SSSS. It's great. He's got relationships with the coaches. He loves Coach Fritz, but it's 2026. That's a long way off. If he stays committed, he's the top rated quarterback athlete in the class of 2026. Great get. But until he steps foot on campus, because in some cases, schools who a young man signs, some schools don't care. Some schools are just shady like that. They don't care. So Rex says 6 or 7 wins out of the first 9. Boy, that'd be impressive. Okay. CA asks, have not heard anything new on it. But the last update is, how can I phrase this? It sounds like UH won't begin selling the uniforms until next year. Anyway, until 2025. So kind of all the excitement about challenging the Shield, but it sounds like the merch won't be made available until 2025. I think that's, another missed opportunity. And oh, by the way, this is a PSA. As a Houston Cougar alum, renew your season tickets for men's basketball. I think that started on the 28th. But also you can buy your football tickets, volleyball tickets. Support the other U8 athletic teams and programs. So what is it? Do I have that? I don't know if I have that slide anymore. Let me see if I had it last week. This slide with the phone number. What is it? 713-GO-COUGS, I believe that's what it is. 713-GO-COUGS. Let's see. There we go. 713-GO-COUGS. 713-462-6647. So yes, call that number. Buy your football tickets. Buy your men's basketball tickets. Buy your women's basketball tickets. Buy volleyball tickets. Support the Cougs. Rex said, basketball season tickets renewed easily. That's good to hear. And I heard that the price went up. Be expected. It's a marquee team, a nationally ranked team, a team ready to compete, if healthy, for a national championship. I'll say this. Waiting for the press release for the Players Era Festival to be announced with all the details. But yes, the Cougs are in it. Contract has been signed. The Cougs will play. There will be 20 Big 12 men's basketball conference games. 20. The Cougs will play 5 Big 12 teams twice. And then the other 10, one each. Okay? They'll play 11 non-conference games. We got, I think right now, 2 in Vegas, part of the MTE, the Players Era Festival. 1 game will be in downtown Houston at Toyota Center. Opponent still TBD, but there will be a game at Toyota Center. So it's coming together. The schedule is coming together. Waiting for the announcement. I reached out to Matt Nolander to see if he heard any more specifics about when the press release announcing the details of the Players Era Festival will be finalized. Hadn't heard back yet from Matt. Matt, of course, is with CBS Sports, and I interviewed him a couple of weeks ago, and you can watch that interview, of course, on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. Reminder, I want to congratulate Shelton Henderson from Bel Air High School for being one of the 12 young men named to the U18 National Team. He's the only Texan on the squad. The team will compete and Shelton is 6'5", 6'6". Wow, 205, I think 210 and 220. One of the top players, top 50 in the country for the class of 2025. But he's also a finalist of the 2024 Guy V. Lewis Award, and I think he'll be one for the 2025 Guy V. Lewis Award. So congrats to him. I think the video board will be ready for football. They're going to have an announcement tomorrow. I won't be able to make it, but some more announcements, press release and everything. Press event will be on campus at the football stadium on Friday, May 31st. And for those wondering, Shelton told me back at the award reception, and he confirmed it with, I think, On3, that he plans to announce his choice at the end of the summer session of hoops. So you call that grassroots hoops. It's not really AAU hoops, but he said he's going to announce his college choice at the conclusion of this summer circuit. So look for that. Shelton Henderson, a 2024 finalist for the Guy V. Lewis Award. Going to wrap it up. Reminder, get you a mug, a Houston Roundball Review mug, if you don't want to do that. And yes, Houston is one of the schools he's heard from. Will be one of the schools he takes an official visit. He's blown up. This summer, he's performed so well. He's caught the eyes of other schools like Kentucky and Arkansas. Top programs are now looking at Shelton. But Houston was one of the first to talk to him. So Coogs are in the mix, okay? But get you a mug, get you a tank top, get you a cap, get you a tie-dye shirt, or get you a tie-dye bucket hat. All those different ways and merch of the Houston Roundball Review. Salute to Rex. Salute to Brandon. Salute to CA37 for taking time out of your lunch to spend with me on this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover. And always, you know it, subscribe to the channel, click that bell, tell your friends about the Houston Roundball Review Takeover. And always, since 1994, the Houston Roundball Review. Local name, global perspective. Everyone, take care. Peace.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is Thursday, May 30th, 2024. Number one, with just over 5 months before the consequential November 5th presidential election, President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris kicked off the launch of Black Voters for the Biden-Harris campaign. The president and vice president met in Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection, to build upon their once significant support of Black voters. The campaign appearance took place at Philadelphia's Girard College, a majority Black college prep school. And joining President Biden and Vice President Harris was rising Democratic star Maryland Governor Wes Moore. Number two, Google recently implemented significant search algorithm updates, culminating in AI overviews for user queries. The updates aim to improve user experience, but have sparked a debate about their potential effect on the web. AI overviews have affected website traffic, with popular sites experiencing declines, while user-generated content platforms have seen increases. Number three, A transient ischemic attack, or TIA, is a temporary blockage of blood flow to the brain. The clot usually dissolves on its own or gets dislodged, and the symptoms usually last less than 5 minutes. While a TIA doesn't cause permanent damage, it's a warning stroke, signaling a possible full-blown stroke ahead. Common warning signals include sudden onset of weakness, numbness, or paralysis on one side of the body, slurred speech or difficulty understanding others, blindness in one or both eyes, dizziness, or a severe headache with no apparent cause. For more information about TIAs, go to heart.org. Number 4. In the 2020 election, a Florida law restricted in-person voter registration, leading to cuts in a voter registration group's staff and funding. Florida is one of several states where Republican-enacted voting restrictions have increased penalties for voter assistance. A federal judge blocked parts of the law, but it still affected voter advocacy organizations before the ruling. Number 5. Black communities do not have the same access to quality, equitable, and culturally sensitive mental health services. Additionally, most U.S. counties lack a mental health provider for youth, with the Health Resources and Services Administration, or HRSA, designating over 5,000 areas as mental health professional shortage areas. The Biden-Harris administration created a Black Youth Suicide Prevention Initiative to support the nation's infrastructure in providing targeted suicide prevention programming for Black youth and young adults. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Believing in good helps to counteract cynicism and negativity, promoting a more harmonious and loving world. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central as we check in and check up with a special show in partnership with the American Heart Association on strokes. Our guests include vascular neurologist Dr. William B.J. Hicks, stroke survivor Dawn Turnage, and comedian Roy Wood Jr. We'll see you then. I'm Sybil Wilkes. Be informed, be empowered.